Hello and welcome to Crappy Hour. I'm Ronnie. That's Ben over there. Hello, Ben.
Hi, how are you?
So good. So glorious to see your little face.
Glorious to see your little face on today, Canada Day. Happy Canada Day to all our Canadian friends.
I didn't even know it was Canada Day, but you know what? I feel like that's so Canada Day to not know that it's Canada Day, isn't it?
Yeah, Canada Day is, of course, a day when you have to go up to at least three people and say, sorry, sorry,
Sorry.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No,
We love you,
we
Canada.
love our Canadian friends and family and listeners, etc. And we're so happy. We're hoping you're having a great, super fun day today.
Aren't you sweet? What do you do on Canada Day?
I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Is it an Independence Day? Is it just like a national celebration day? We would love to
I
know
feel
from the
like it's a day
Canadians.
where you just go to crosswalks and just help people cross them. Even people
Yeah.
like who are fully fine walking across by themselves. You just say, "Hey there, hey neighbor, howdy hoodly
Yeah.
neighbor," and you just help people across the street. Or like I don't know, maybe it's like one of those days when you just like pay it forward, like you buy the person in line behind you, you buy their Starbucks.
Yes. It might be. And I'm getting some feedback that on YouTube my mic is low, so I'm gonna play around over here. So you talk for a second, Ronnie, or you just keep talking and
Well,
do
maybe you
what you
can just
do.
pull your mic real close to your
Oh
face.
hell, it's pretty darn close, but I'm gonna fix something here. I think I know what I'm gonna do.
So someone said Ronnie's Canadian voice is Ned Flanders. That's correct. It's also my Captain Sandy voice, my Vicky Gunvalson voice, and the voice I talk into Bueller the most, probably,
Okay.
when he wants to be annoyed. And someone says, FYI, calling out sick is a saying. Sorry, not in these
Oh.
parts. In these parts, you call in sick.
By the
Okay?
way, everyone says YouTube sounds fine, so I think the person who said my microphone was low, I think actually you may need to check your speakers. I apologize.
Okay, well, let's get to it. So, the big news of the week, guys. Well, these are every 2 weeks, so I don't know what feels old because people are already on here like, nothing's happening on Bravo. Let's talk about Shark Week. You know, it's not Shark Week, but still people will talk about it. But it was actually between last one and this one, a lot has happened on Bravo. The biggest thing is Kenya.
Kenya
The news
Moore.
keeps changing. At first, it was Kenya got suspended. Then it was Kenya's coming back, and then it was nope, Kenya's fired, and she's possibly going to sue the network for firing her ass.
Yeah,
Dun,
she
dun.
is. She is fired. The investigation concluded that she needs to be fired. This is big. This is like a big news. I mean, big thing. I mean, wow. I can't believe that this has happened.
Yeah. Someone says every week it's Shark Week. That's true. So why am I getting an ad on? Oh, it's because I'm on Love B Scott. I thought I was getting this on StreamYard. I was like, excuse me, but it's Love B Scott. We love them,
B.
and we
Scott.
will pay
We
whatever.
love
We
B.
will look at
Scott.
whatever ads you want to give us, Love B, because look how much you give us. So the big exclusive here. So everybody who doesn't know what happened, basically Kenya is fighting with this new chick on the show, Brittany. I'm assuming
Yep.
it's Brittany, and I guess Britt was a hooker or something. And so Kenya's been fighting with her, and Kenya had a big Kenya Moore hair care opening deal. And at her opening, she apparently put pictures up of this lady in a dick. Now, I know there were fake pictures going around where people had photoshopped on the screen Brit in front of a big dick. But I think that was just photoshopped. But apparently, Kenya either put pictures up, something. We don't know for sure yet, but we think she put pictures up of this lady either giving head or around a head. And then Kenya went on to do this monologue about what a hoe she is and how people pay her for sex and all this other stuff. To which I say, thanks for complimenting me for having a job. Like, who the hell are you to judge a sex worker every single time? Why is Kenya such a prude about shit like that? It's weird. Why can't some? It's 2024. If people want to be hoes, let them be hoes. People hire the hoes. If you want to shame people, shame the hirers. Why are you shaming the hoes?
Well, also, what happened to just good old fashioned shade, right? Like that you have to use these really like tacky, gross, revenge porny props. Like that's what it's come to. You just can't handle this person with your words anymore. Kenya, that was your secret that was your secret power, was your ability to take people down with like a good read. And
Kenya's
and
never been the best at reading, has
well,
she?
what? Oh, you know what? You're right. Reading has not been her best, but her best has been able to antagonize people just with her words. How about that? And she's been able to do that, like be a supreme villain in that way. But like having to go to the lengths of like putting up pictures of someone in like a sexually compromising position, I don't know. It's well, aside from the fact that morally it's actually really depraved, it's also like she can do better. She can do better.
Well, someone in the people are reminding us in the chat that this did not start with this. Apparently, the fight started because she was fighting with this girl, Britt, and Britt said something about a gun, which we don't know what it is yet because the show has not aired, but she referenced a gun, and Kenya turned it into this girl is threatening me with a gun, and, went on this whole thing. And so I don't know. Now, as far as firing her, there's a lot of discussion of is this even fair? Because, I think Kenya reposted something, or there's been so much about this that my head's going to explode. But so there was something about like, how is this different from Tom Sandoval? Because Tom Sandoval was revenge porn and he still has a job. Well, this is not revenge porn, technically. Revenge porn is when you have porn of somebody, you have naked pictures of somebody else and you distribute them to whoever, right? That's how I understand it.
Well, I think if you put up public photos of someone doing a sexual act, that's revenge porn. I think even when Ceci was on here last and we were talking about this topic,
Even if they were pictures that are already public and stuff.
yeah, because I think I don't know. Ceci said something about there was a case of a guy who put like pictures of his ex on a car and drove around or whatever. I don't. I think it's like
we're not versed in
I don't know.
in
I don't
revenge
know.
porn, I guess is what we need to
But
say.
either
Like
way,
we don't really understand the law perfectly for that. But there is I guess one of the differences is that Tom did not go to a party and put it up on a screen. Like I guess it was like what would you call it? Like personal use? Like I don't know. I don't think the situations are necessarily the same. I think they're both terrible.
the same.
But I think comparing it was bad. It's just bad. It's bad. And Tom should be fucking fired too if we do that. But I don't know. I think this is one of those things where I'd kind of like to see it play out on the show before I have a huge judgment about it, because I feel like so many times we're all tricked into having these like opinions, and then the show happens and it either doesn't seem as bad or it seems worse, and so we didn't come down hard enough on it. But I did listen to the audio that was released of Kenya, and it's not great.
Oh, I haven't heard that audio yet. What did she? Is it just like it's just her at the monologue that she did?
Yeah, her going off at the party, like announcing that this girl's a whore and all of this stuff, and that was.
Kenya's been on the decline for a while now as like a villain and even as a Bravo celebrity. I have been a fan of hers for a long time as a great villain, but the problem with Kenya has been that her heart has really not been in it. Like really ever since Mark came along, it's not been the same Kenya. Kenya, I think when they were married, Kenya was trying to be like, now I'm like mature and I'm a wife now. And then she had a kid, and now I think she's had to be on best behavior because custody. And I think like any moment that she is like sort of classic Kenya, she's afraid that like the kid will probably get taken away or there'll be more litigation or yada, yada, yada. So as a result, she's like really controlled her image, and she just hasn't been fun or interesting in a few years now. And so I was honestly surprised that Bravo even brought her back in the first place, because I feel like she's been so checked out and so not honest with what's going on in her life. So it was wild to me that Bravo brought her back. And now Bravo has maybe learned its lesson. Maybe Bravo should listen to the listeners a bit more when it comes time for a reboot. I'm not saying listen to us all the time, because we're always wanting everyone fired at all times. But if you're recasting a show, listen to what we have to say, because we could have told you that a disaster like this was going to happen.
Have you seen? Well, first, a couple good points from the listeners. All I want is consistency. Keep this energy for Whitney, Tom, etc. I agree.
Yeah,
I mean, I was really surprised by the Whitney thing, honestly, because we were going after him for that. That was gross. On Southern Charm, when Whitney was passing around nudes of Taylor, and he didn't do it technically on the show. He showed it to people who then talked about it on the show, and they were all talking about it like that was fine. That was not cool. And Whitney was the producer of that show, but still, like, I'm surprised that no one really seemed to get mad at him across the board. I think Tom, people did get mad about the revenge porn thing. I don't mean he got fired. Obviously, he didn't face consequences that way. I'm just talking about the audience. The audience seems to still be kind of reacting to that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think every situation is different. And I think probably that is why they're coming down harder on Kenya, because the audience went so hard on the Tom and Ariana revenge porn thing with Raquel that now that it's happening with Kenya, they're like, oh no, now we have to come down really hard on this because now this is revenge porn and this is the thing we're dealing with now. That's a huge deal. You know, they're always trying to like plug holes that they didn't understand before in HR over there. It's like they get around to kind of standard things that the rest of us have been dealing with for a couple of years, you know, a few years now. And they get the terminology a little bit late and just start plugging the holes. Like, now we're going to care about revenge porn. That's the theme of the year. They're going to have all these specials up like, no revenge porn. Bravo cares about revenge porn victims. You know, let's hear from Raquel.
Yeah, I think the other thing I was going to say about Kenya and all this was that, what was I going to say about Kenya and all this? I don't know, just to say that this is a shame that she's going out this way. And on top of that, it makes me also really concerned about this season, because I've always maintained my theory that anytime you have like a firing or the cast gets messed up over the course of the season, it translates into kind of an uneven or bad season for the viewers, because, you know, the cast is chosen for a reason and the producers have a game plan of how they want the season to go. They know what storylines they want to develop, what arcs they want. And if something gets taken out of that equation and they're not ready for it, then they have to scramble, and then you just get like a janky ass season. So I don't know.
They're having it rough this year because Portia was going to come on and have all of her Simon drama, and then Simon's blocking them from filming at the house and causing all these problems for production. And then Kenya and Portia were going to finally get along, and now that's a thing. And there have been a lot of interviews, you know, with the OGs and stuff. Like Candy was sticking up for Kenya and saying, you know, you really need that, which is kind of weird because it's a sex shamey thing, and Candy's usually against that.
Candy was the victim of that.
Well, she was the victim. You mean with
meaning that
Bolo?
like Candy did not. The whole fallout with Candy and Phaedra was that Phaedra was spreading horrific rumors about rape and dungeon stuff like that. And the point is that, like, I would think that Candy would be specifically sensitive to things in that space. Revenge porn is different from rape and things and allegations like that, but there's still there's still a mass violation that comes with that. And like someone putting images like that up in public, I can imagine what Candy went through with Phaedra's rumors. I would think that Candy would be sensitive to that and not be like, oh well, but they still need her on the show because she's a good villain.
Yeah, it's interesting because Kenya is such a sex shamer. Like the Bolo stuff was all Candy. You know, she had Bolo at the vacation, and they all had fun. And then Kenya, they all thought that it was after hours and nothing was going on camera. And then Kenya went and outed everybody and sex shamed everybody for the whole year for that. So, yeah. I mean, overall, I think Kenya kind of sucks. She's sucked for a long time, just because she's just gotten too, like, I don't know, like uptight about stuff. But as far as keeping stuff fair amongst all the franchises, a lot of clips have been going around this week, which I think are making very good points. One of them is the Whitney thing, which we've already gone over. The Tom Sandoval stuff, of course. There was another one going around from Real Housewives of New Jersey, which was the wives passing around Danielle's sex tape, which Danielle is always, right. You know, Danielle was saying that was a sex tape that was taken from her without her permission, or one of her ex-boyfriends was sending that as revenge porn.
Danielle Staub, to clarify.
Who was I saying?
You just said Danielle, so I just wanted
to make sure I got to be more specific these days, right?
Could you imagine the bougie sex tape? It's like a sex tape of bullshit.
Not that Danielle, but yeah, Danielle Staub.
There were one or two people who thought when we're talking about Whitney, we're talking about Whitney from Southern Charm, not Whitney from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Sorry. There's so many multiple. It's a multiverse. But so anyway, they're showing that clip from Real Housewives of New Jersey where the husbands are all passing. Joe Gorga's passing that sex tape around of Danielle's, and then you've got the ladies talking about it and mocking it and stuff. And it really is pretty amazing how quickly things change in society, because I remember that airing. I don't think I'd ever even heard the term revenge porn before, and I don't think it even. I don't even think I clocked that at the time. Did you? I don't remember being like, "Oh, I can't believe they're showing a porn." I mean,
Yeah,
I think watching it now, I thought that. I was like, how did people not get in trouble for this? This isn't even that long ago, you know?
Yeah, I don't honestly even remember when my awareness of this became a thing.
But I'm laughing
yeah, I
because
think
I'm sorry, Ben, but I'm laughing. I don't want to forget this comment somebody just left of Whitney
what they
Whitney
say.
Rose being like, "You exploited my vagina." So Whitney did kind of accuse Heather of revenge porn, but it was in written form because Salt Lake City's so fucking innocent, you know?
Yeah, that was Whitney trying to jump on. I felt like that bandwagon there a little bit, but yeah, I think that if we'd seen them passing around Danielle's sex tape on New Jersey, like nowadays, if that was a fresh new episode, I think we'd be like, that is so fucked up. But back then, we're like, ha ha ha, look at her, she has a sex tape, you know.
Yeah, my reaction seeing it now was that it's really fucked up. Yeah, that is how I felt. I was like, ew. And that couldn't have been that long ago. And one of the gross things is I'm sure we just laughed right along with it. Like,
Yeah, probably.
this is Danielle sex tape. It's pretty crazy. A lot of people in comments are bringing up the naked wasted. I mean, that was a long time. I mean,
we were horrified at that originally too. Like when I won't say that we were horrified. We probably were like, oh, I can't believe. But I think at that time when that happened, I think we were all pretty much like, that is really fucked up. We knew at that time, we still thought it was fucked up even then.
yeah. So that's what's going on with Kenya. So apparently the rumors are is that she's weighing her options on suing. Now, I don't know how you're going to win that. I mean, it's kind of her actions. So I don't know that she's.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's
bravo.
true, and I don't know if she has a case, but I don't know if you can make, I'm sure the reality reckoning or, a bunch of, maybe she'll jump on that bandwagon.
She'll
Who
jump
really
on that
knows?
one. I think that's what it'll be. I don't think she'll have a case against Bravo. I don't think Bravo, they're going to cover their bases and everything. And I think most likely Bethany's going to come on in, and Bethany's going to be like,
Yeah, well, you didn't actually want to put up those posters, right? They made you do that, right? Like reality reckoning. You had no choice in the matter, right? You were brainwashed. You had to do it for Bravo, right? Right. Come on my platform.
Yeah. So we'll start with the gun threat. This is from Love B. Scott, as I said before, who's great. So if you're not already over there reading, you should be, because they know everything. Okay, so we'll start with the gun threat allegation. Sources close to the situations tell us that Kenya did raise claims of an alleged gun threat made by newbie Brittany Eady before her hair spa event, but production investigated and could not substantiate. There was no indication of Kenya refusing to film or taking time off. In fact, she continued to plan her hair spa event with no added precautions or additional concerns for her safety. Part of that planning included blowing up sexually compromising photo of Brittany to display for attendees. Quote, "It was clear Kenya went through great lengths to antagonize her. These photos aren't easily accessible on the internet, otherwise they'd be circulating. She not only got the photos from somewhere, but also got posters made. That is not something you would do to someone who allegedly threatened you with a gun." So that's an interesting argument. They're like, well, she can't be that scared because she actually went to fucking FedEx Kinko's.
well, I was also going to say, I can't believe, I don't know what the policies are at these print shops, but I kind of can't believe that she also was able to get a big sexually explicit poster made. But again, I don't know what the rules are. I know, like, some businesses, if you're gay, you can refuse it. But apparently, if you can do sexually explicit content like that could be used as revenge porn, like that's fair game.
Well, one of the other clips that's been going around is of Nene being a psychic and saying if Kenya is allowed to stay on this show, she will be the demise of this show. So people are passing that around and saying, Nene's psychic. I would just like to add, we don't know that that's the truth yet. I mean, we kind of assumed that that's going to be the truth, that this show's just going to tank. But listen, Sheree was out there this week saying that show's sinking. That's a sinking ship, without Kenya. But it was kind of a sinking ship with you when they brought you.
Yeah.
I mean, no offense. And it's been kind of a sinking ship for a couple of years. So I
been
don't know
sinking in
that
the
this is the
harbor.
worst
Yeah.
thing. Maybe it can turn out to be a blessing in the future, and it'll be mostly new people now, and we'll see. We'll see. Sink or swim.
Yeah, the show has been in bad shape. I honestly was really surprised that that they didn't do a full revamp. I was surprised they brought back so many cast members. Honestly, I thought it was gonna be a whole new cast. I thought it was gonna be like Roni style, and the fact that they didn't, maybe they're regretting it now. Maybe they don't really have, especially if like sometimes these stunts they are maybe egged on by production in some ways. Like I would not be surprised if a producer was like, you should like make a poster, like you should do something like big and humiliate her. Like I would not be surprised if there was some like a producer who put an idea at least on some level to do a stunt. And I feel like when there is like a stunt that's happening, like that indicates that the show is trying to generate drama. I don't know. This is pure conjecture. I have no idea if a producer said anything, but all I do know is that there was a stunt, and that's a bad sign in general.
Well, whether a producer said something or not, I mean, Kenya's well versed in this. She's been doing it a long time, so you do want to make interesting TV, and you do want to go get your enemy good and where is the line? The lines keep changing. I mean, there are a lot of questions, and it's going to be interesting to see where lines are ultimately drawn and how all of this turns out. But that is that one. In other devastating news, Danielle from Summer House will not be returning.
Yes, another one drops. I mean, I thought it was rough enough losing Kenya, but now we're losing a true icon. Danielle
They
from
actually
Summer House.
asked Sheree as she was walking out of the gym. TMZ cornered Sheree and said, "What do you think about Danielle leaving Summer House?" And Sheree said, "Who?"
Yeah, Danielle, it's over. She got a cute new haircut. This founder and CEO got herself a cute little bob and everything. But yeah, the writing was on the wall. I mean, I was surprised she lasted this long. And there wasn't like after her first or second season, wasn't she actually fired? And then they brought her back. It wasn't even like she was gone from the show. Like she was fired. We even put her in I think we put her in our RIP montage for the Crappies at least 2 times. We're like, oh yeah, Danielle's been fired. And then like she kept
Well, you
showing
just
up
kind of
again.
assume. I think it's one of those things you just kind of keep assuming, and then she just keeps coming back. Yeah, so Danielle was apparently, well, she says she quit, which everybody knows that is a damn lie because she, let's read her statement. Okay, here it is. "Hello, my sweet loves." What? I felt assaulted when I read that. I was like, how dare you? We're not on this level, ma'am. "Hello, my sweet loves. I wanted to share that I've come to the heartbreaking decision to not return as a full-time cast member on the upcoming season of Summer House. Obviously, this decision didn't come without a tremendous amount of thought about how I'm getting fired, and it's not fun." Okay, I've got 2 reviews on my website, and they both suck. So thanks for the timing, you dicks.
Here's the tremendous amount of thought that was on the NBC side. Hey, we're going to fire Danielle, right? Yeah. Okay, what do you guys want to get for takeout? Chinese today?
Yeah. So this did not come easily. Ultimately, I just needed to trust my gut. Danielle, you don't have a gut. We've seen you trusting your gut for years. You just continuously walk into walls. You do not have a gut. Trust me. Listen to my gut. Don't trust yours. Okay? My gut's correct. I feed my gut. My gut's very intelligent. It eats. Do not listen to your gut. Your gut is an idiot. Okay? You're a very great girl. You're great. Everything's going to be great for you, I think. Possibly some other time off my TV. But as far as your gut, don't listen to it. Okay? Your gut got you, Dawn. Okay?
So she says, if I can't put 100% of myself into filming, genuinely and authentically, it really doesn't feel right doing it in a full-time capacity. I'm like, yes, that founding and CEOing is just taking too much of your time to really devote yourself to just going to a house in the Hamptons and relaxing all summer.
I love that she's like Meryl Streeping it. She's like, if I can't put everything into my role, I will not do it. Do you know how many iOS updates could be coming this summer? I'm very busy. But I would like to thank the network, production, the cast, my cast, she says, like an old movie. So I'd like to thank my cast, especially all of you. Deserve that, all the fans out there. And then she says, right now I need to protect and prioritize the things that matter most to me. My company, my people, and of course, myself.
The D! I'm going after the D. Yeah, you can't deny me. I may be out of the summer house, but that D is in me. Hell yeah. Peace out, everyone. Danielle Olivera has left the building.
Oh, and then she does bring up what you said. I was fortunate enough to be able to take a step back season 4 as well, and it ended up working out better than I imagined when nobody else showed up on set. So maybe it'll happen again. However, I'm involved this summer. You can bet I'll be rooting for another incredible season from my summer house family. My goodness. Season 9, you guys. I hope the men get away with more shit. Okay? Just know, whatever happens this summer, I will be defending every piece of shit man in that house. I'm out. Danielle's out. Send it, boys.
This thing is like reading like a speech at a wedding. Like, my God, can you believe it? 9 years already, you guys. You guys are just so great. Well, don't worry, Danielle. We will always save a space, maybe not in our heart, but on the LIEE for you. And we actually, LIR, I should say, or the LIEE. Anyway, whatever mass transport there is on Long Island, there'll be a space for you. And I'm sure that she will be back.
This has nothing to do with anything except this is a camera review for whatever shitty webcam I have that I'm currently
I think it looks
using.
great. It looks, well, you look good on
Instagram.
IG.
I look good
yeah.
on the phone. Look how good I look on the phone. Now look at me, red-faced. I look like a drunk, angry Irishman on the YouTube.
You need to set up. You need to set up some OBS. Look at me. It looks like
I'm
I'm
on
sitting
OBS.
in the sunset.
I'm on fucking
Well, you got to
OBS
put your
'cause you told
filters
me
on.
to.
You put your filters on. Get your sharpen up.
I
Come
feel like
on.
that's cheating. Can I really use filters on OBS? What?
Yeah.
Where do I do it?
You don't want to see what this looks like without the filters. You need to.
All right.
Look at my hands. Yeah. No, it's not cheating. It's enhancing because the truth is the camera takes away your natural beauty, and so you got to just put it back in. Think of the filters as visual Botox. Okay. I know you love your Botox and your you don't do fillers, but you do your treatments and your burn off skin things. Just think of it like there's no difference. It's just a
That's
virtual
funny.
version of it.
Okay. Well, and by the way, who looks normal anyway? Like everybody's in a filter. I don't even recognize people in real life anymore. I went to a party with all my friends yesterday and it was so good to see them, but I was like, oh my God, could you guys all go back on Instagram? What happened to you? It's like, I've only seen them on Instagram for 4 years. So I'm seeing everybody's like projected image of themselves. We haven't seen each other's real selves. You know, I'm like, oh my God, we're like a horse. We're like a fable, you know, like
Well,
where
you
the
know
witches
what?
come out and eat the children.
Let me tell you something. Along these lines, you guys should first of all keep an ear out. I think probably this week or next week. I think it's this week. Cara Berry has a podcast, Everyone's Business But My Own, and Ron and I went on to it last week, and we revisited the first ever episode of all time of The Real Housewives of Orange Counties, or just Real Housewives ever, which was really fun, and we talked about it on our podcast. But in the middle of it, obviously there was a lot of talk about Slade. So I went over to Slade's Instagram to see what was going on with him. And there's pictures up of Gretchen. And like it's been known, like Gretchen has a heavy hand with the filter. At this point, Gretchen's filter game, she just looks like the thumbnail that Photoshop uses for Gaussian blur. It's like, oh, do you want to use a Gaussian blur on your image? Here, it's Gretchen's face. Like, it is so, like, even Barbara Walters up in heaven is saying, like, girl, you got to, like, calm down. Like, this is too much.
She actually, there was a filter on, I think it was Snapchat, and it was a thumb. It was like a talking thumb. And it just has eyes. Or the potato. And I feel like that's what, oh God. Enter a 6-digit login code generated by an authentication app. God damn it. No, I'm trying to log in on my computer so I could look at Slade's Instagram because you said it, so God forbid. And I'm on my phone, so I can't do it. Anyway, who cares? I'll do it later.
By the way, someone asked if I got Botox. I did not get Botox.
That's what she looks like. She looks like the potato filter. Okay, there, I said it. I don't need to look at Instagram. No, Ben does not need Botox. He naturally fucking looks like that. Isn't he lucky?
I'll need it soon enough, you know, someday soon enough. Who knows? I mean,
Aren't you
I'm lazy.
lucky?
Well, I think the biggest benefit is that I just don't spend a lot of time in the sun. So Not by choice. I'm just an indoor kid. Like when I was a kid, my favorite thing was when it would rain and recess was indoors and we all got to draw. That was my favorite, drawing recess. I was the Danielle Olivera of recess. Yeah. I gotta get
send
the
it.
D in. And by D, I mean drawing. Drawing with my crayons.
Okay, so speaking of Orange County, yes, go listen to the Cara Berry podcast because she's great and we'd love talking to her. And that was also super fun to watch the first episode ever and talk about that. I forgot a lot of that stuff that happened on there.
So hilarious watching it.
We need to bring Cara on here to this show, and
I know.
forgot to ask her this.
And I
week,
also want to
so.
say real quickly before we go on to the next topic, a few people have asked, is there going to be a House of Dragons? Yes, we had major technical issues today, and so we recorded the first 42 minutes. We recorded 42 minutes of the first 5 minutes of the show because that's how we do it, and we had to pause it. So we're gonna have that first 42 minutes up later today, and then tomorrow we're gonna reconvene and record the rest of the recap. So it's gonna come out in piecemeal. But thanks for your patience, everyone, on that front.
So, speaking of Orange County, Joe put out a video driving around with, I'm assuming her gay, and she was like, "Oh my God, we're looking for a house in the OC because our leases are up." So who knows? Joe may be going back to the OC. That's a big rumor today. And in other Summer House news, guess who's returning to Summer House besides not Danielle? Everybody is returning, including both Lindsay and Carl. Dun, dun, dun. I don't need Carl anymore. Carl just needs to go away. Go open your fucking cafe someplace, okay?
No, I need Carl to be there, and here's why. Because Carl cracks me up with everything he does and the way he's so ineffective and the way that he's so awful and the way he pits women against each other and hides behind X, Y, and Z and this and that, Larsa Pippen. I just love making fun of Carl so much that I kind of need him to stay. And I have to see this shit show that will be Carl and Lindsay in the same house. It's going to be a disaster.
Well, I can't wait for Carl to try and make himself the victim all the time and Lindsay to not give a fuck because she has some new hot guy. So I'm really excited for that part. So yeah, I guess I am glad. Someone just told me that I guess the guy called Joe's gay is her husband. I had no idea. Sorry. But just remember that
Joe's
me calling
happy.
someone gay is not a criticism, okay? Yeah. Because I think that makes you better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a compliment. Let's see what else. There is a new addition to Real Housewives of New York City. And her name is Raquel Chevremont. I don't know.
Chevremont. I just want to report, by the way,
Raquel,
that I was just kicked off of Instagram.
She is an advisor, curator, collector, model. And I think, is she a Scientologist? I need to look it up. The headlines are Black queer model and art curator Raquel Chevremont to join cast. I'm going to put Scientologist in here.
No, I think that it's the other.
Bravo's The Real Housewife of New York City adds Raquel. What happened to the Scientologist girlie? Okay, so this is not the girl who was a Scientologist. Okay, good. I'm glad I looked that up before I spread the falsities. Let me see. I was really looking forward to a Scientologist. I hope they didn't get rid of the Scientologist. I need a Scientologist. I want to see inside.
I know, Ronnie. Are you still able to hear me? By the way, no,
I can't hear you anymore on Instagram.
Yeah, I think that
I'm still on Instagram though.
Are you?
I mean, it says I am.
No, Ronnie. I think you ended the Instagram video by accident.
I haven't touched anything.
Oh, I got kicked off of it. Everyone reported that it's off.
Oh, mine says live. You're frozen and I'm moving. I don't know what could have happened.
So it sounds maybe there was a network error. This is probably now you're receiving the stuff that I dealt with last week. So I would say YouTube can keep on going. YouTube can keep on thriving as it often does. But do you want to start up you want to start it up again, the Instagram, and then we can do our have to call people up, or do you want to just stick on YouTube?
Sure, but it's saying, are you sure you want to end your live video?
Are you sure? That's so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should I do it?
Can you save it?
Yeah. Okay, I'll say share. Oh my God, I look insane as usual.
God. It is just when we thought we could
poor
get to the end of the day
Christina.
without one more.
No, it's that kind of
technical
day.
issue.
You know, on days like this, you just have to say the world is shitting on my face. And it's just a shit on your face kind of a day. I'm just going to keep going through this life, getting my face shit on. Okay.
Jillian Payne and Johnson says that Instagram is gaslighting you, Ronnie, and I have to. In fact, let me spotlight that.
I'm telling you, I want a fucking award for today for not screaming at anybody, not going fucking, not that I ever scream at anybody, but I always want to in my head, you know? Okay, Ben, I'm starting up Instagram Live again.
Okay, great.
But I feel like I deserve an award today for not being
You
mean
always
to
deserve
people
an
because this has been a shit fucking day. And then after all of that, we don't get to record our shows. The website breaks. That this happens. That happens. Everything's just pooping, right? Poop flying everywhere. Oh wait, hold on. Let me turn Ben back on. Ben's not requesting.
I'm adding.
Okay.
Turn me back on.
So then I go outside, you know, there's workmen out there or whatever, and I'm trying to add a fence because I need to get Bueller into town, right? So I'm adding a fence because he'll get eaten by coyotes or whatever. Everyone's like, oh my God, Bueller's going to get eaten by a coyote. So I'm getting a fence so I can bring Bueller next week. So I'm building this fence. I go outside to check on the guys and say hello after our fucking disaster of a day. And I'm like, oh my God, this is so nice. He's going to be able to run around down here. And he goes, Ronnie, no, like slow motion, like, no, Ronnie, no. And I stepped out onto the hill. Well, guess what? It's a hill. And guess what happened? I slid down it. It's a hill that's made out of dirt. Okay.
Sounds like.
And I just gotten out of the shower. I slid down the whole fucking hill.
Ronnie, you know what you just did? You went on a hilling journey.
Thank you.
Hilling journey.
Yeah,
Hilling
you,
journey.
you turned
Hi,
that one
everyone.
right around.
Hi, everyone on Instagram. So we're back, reunited on Instagram. Thank you to everyone on YouTube who had to sit there and listen to that thing. Ben is having a brat summer. Wait, what does that mean? Or was it brat? Like, am I having a brat? I'm having brats. Am I having brats or brats? What does it mean? What is a brat?
A brat summer. Maybe because that movie just came out about the brat pack. And who's Andrew McCarthy's out there crying because he was called a brat? Oh, shut the fuck up, Andrew McCarthy. You know, here's all I want to hear from you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for ever making me a star because I'm as fucking interesting as a dish rag. That's all you need to say, Andrew. Okay?
Thank you. I agree. By the way, some people I noticed now I have an echo, guys. I can't help with the echo. I can only do so much. Okay. First of all, hello to all of our friends. Thanks to everyone who came back on Instagram. I want to say also, before we move on to the next topic, that our bonus episode this week is about Love Island USA. So if you're interested in hearing about that we do a solid 30 minutes on that. So that'll be landing later this week. So because I just see people in the comments asking about Love Island USA.
Okay, so to some other headlines. Something gross is happening in the world, and that is that Kim Zolciak has found a new love interest, and it's grosser than you might think it would be. Yeah. It is Tom Hanks' son, Chet Hanks.
Chet.
Wow.
Yeah, this is like, okay. I feel like I'm happy that she leveled up. Did she level up? I think she leveled up from what's his face? Croy. It's a level up. You know, she's potentially getting into the Tom Hanks fortune. It's more reliable.
Tom Hanks is not giving Chet Hanks shit. I'll tell you that much. Tom Hanks,
no.
Chet will not be getting any Wilson money. There is no way. No.
I think he's going to get, well, Rita Wilson won't give him anything, but I think Tom Hanks will. Tom Hanks is like America's dad. Of course he will. He gives us so much. How could he not give more to Chet?
I mean, okay, so what's your point? She leveled up?
Yeah, she has access to a more stable amount of income, and she's like it's attached to Tom Hanks. So she did do that, but I don't. Oh gosh, I can't imagine Tom Hanks likes this at all.
Tom Hanks has just kind of given up. I've heard him in interviews, and whenever they ask about Chet, he's like, "Yeah, well, Chet loves to rap." And that's fun. So he does that. The other one's just like me, looks like me, acts like me, is an actor like me. Doesn't try to use me for everything. Love him. Chet, love Chet. God, Chet kind of rhymes things sometimes. And that's puts on a pretty problematic accent sometimes. Chet is getting nothing. Chet is getting nothing. Kim Zolciak cuddles up with Chet Hanks as he calls her a MILF in surreal life. Villa of Secrets.
Villa. That sounds very intense. Yeah, there's a night vision photo of of Chet and Kim getting close together, and we see Chet. And really, the most horrifying part of this are his horrific tattoos. No surprise that Chet Hanks has bad tattoos. I think at this point, tattoo artists need to start having some more self-respect as well. Like if someone comes in and says, "I want like a giant fleur-de-lis on my back," I think it's time for tattoo artists to say, "You know what? I don't think I can allow that in my shop. You're gonna have to move on."
Yeah, you know what I would like? A better canvas. That's what I would like. I'm an artist. Stop bringing me your Hobby Lobby quality canvases, Chet Hank.
Yeah,
Chet
you don't
Hanks.
need
Get the
this.
fuck out of here. Bring me Rita at the very least. So that's sad. You know, I feel sad for everybody involved with that one. The cameramen, especially.
Yes.
Especially the cameramen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have some personal goss. I met an old queen at the bar yesterday. I was hanging out with some friends,
yeah?
and it was a post-production person from such illustrious shows as Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 4, which we just
Okay.
watched, and Shaws of Sunset something, a Below Deck. No, he didn't do a Below Deck. He's done like 4 or 5 of them, but of course, we talked all about Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Because I
Oh,
was
do
like,
tell.
you guys knew everything, right? Just tell me that you knew. Because I know that you knew. And I don't like that you guys are pretending you didn't know the whole time that Monica was this blogger or whatever, Reality Von Teese. And he said, no, we did not know. But I'm in post production. So we knew, you know, we find out last because it's literally post. Okay. We found out last. But I was like, yeah, but you do post before the whole season wraps or whatever. And he's like, we did not know. He said, now, did the showrunners know? I don't know. I don't know. So I don't know if he did know, but I feel like he was kind of straight guy baiting me, where straight guys just know that like a gay guy who loves Bravo is going to fall over anything that he says. So he was doing Bravo-like things. He was like, did the showrunners know? I was like, that's not fair. I don't think they should allow straight guys to work at Bravo, is my point.
Yeah, it's time for them to leave. Well, okay, so it's official. The post department at Salt Lake City did not know.
Yeah, so it's not really gossip, but I thought it was interesting. And that's another
It's
reason I really like
further-
being back at Los Angeles,
Yeah.
in Los Angeles, because, you know, you just meet so many randos here. And I never would have met that old, he's not even a queen. He's a young straight person in a bar.
You know, I spoke to someone who is a reality show producer and has been doing it for a long time. And she was of the mindset, she's not on Salt Lake City, nor was she working for Bravo, but she's of the mindset that she's like, you know what? The producers know everything, and they definitely knew about this. And if they say that they didn't, they're lying. That was what she said as a reality TV producer. So it's hard. It's hard because, like, there's part of me that really believes that Bravo really did not know. But it's just so strange. It's so strange. Why would what's her face have a crisis of conscience? What was her name again? To start with the T. Her name.
The hairdresser?
The hairdresser.
Tanisha, I think. Yeah.
Tanisha? Okay. Like, why would she suddenly have a crisis of conscience right before the vacation? Why would this all come out right here? Now, people are saying it was Bo Dietl. So maybe it was Bo Dietl.
I
maybe
think they
Bo
all
Dietl
knew. I
should-
think the producers knew and hired Monica for it. And I think they did a great
think they
job.
hired
And
her
I'm
for
totally
it?
fine. Like, I don't need to know all the secrets, you know, like I do believe it. I don't think the cast knew. And I think it was great that they tricked the cast because that was very fun. I think Heather knew, but I don't think that the other cast knew. And that was pretty great. I loved it. Keep doing it. Keep
Yeah.
manipulating them because this is like the fun manipulations, you know?
I don't think that they would. Okay, here's what I can imagine. I don't think that they would have hired Monica knowing that she was like had a troll account. But or I should say, I don't think they would hire her because she had a troll account. But I bet that there was probably someone who knew about it and probably was just like, they knew it would be good shit and they didn't like share it with the rest of the team because they knew then she would never get hired, but they maybe advocated for her to get hired. And then when she was in the system, then it was like locked and loaded. And then this person's like, I know exactly when to drop the bomb. So I feel like there was maybe one person who knew, But I don't think as a whole
I think
production
they
and
knew.
Bravo knew.
No, I think they 100% knew because they knew this girl was working for Jen. They knew that she had supposedly testified against Jen, quote unquote. They knew all that she had all of this stuff going. Why are there balloons on my head?
Because you made a gesture. Like, that's the thing, is that like if you make a certain gesture, things happen. I definitely once was like FaceTiming and had like a very serious talk, and then balloons came up. But there's something that you can do that's like, maybe it's this.
Oh, now I'm getting fireworks on YouTube. What is happening? I love
you
this.
are getting fireworks on YouTube. I'm trying to do
Yeah.
like lots of different flappies and like this, and like, what if I go like that? What if I go? Oh, no, nothing. How do I make the balloons up? Celebrate. What did I
Heather.
say it? Celebrate. Claw hands. Little crabs come up. Claw hands. Claw hands.
Claw hands. If you ever come for me or my family ever again, it will affect more than your children. It will affect your donuts. Okay, so yeah, I think that everybody knew. Why are we still talking about that? I don't know. Okay, let's move on to some listeners, everybody. Let's talk to listeners and everybody on YouTube. We sure love you. Thank you for being here. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Join us. If you want to
Bye,
do
YouTube
this
people.
listener section, come on over. Everybody on audio, thank you so much for listening. Come join us live every other week, okay? If you want the video of this, it's on Crappens On Demand on Patreon, okay? You can see the balloons. You can see the fireworks. It's all there. Bye, everybody. Okay, now
Bye.
people on audio.